personal, family, community, at all levels. If there is one magic key, there isn't, but if there is a magic key, it is this one that I'm going to mention, which is for each one of us to remember that, like at work, you were hired to fulfill a specific job. Your success depends on understanding that job and fulfilling it to the best of your ability. So when they evaluate your performance, you succeed. Like this, you need to remember that in this life you were created to fulfill a specific job. There is a job description for you in this life. There is a job that you were created to fulfill. You want to succeed, you need to understand it and fulfill it to the best of your ability. Why this can make big difference at all levels? Because doing that will make the work of shaitan much harder. Why? Number one, you will be focused. And shaitan, it's hard for shaitan to mislead someone or confuse someone who is focused. Number two, you're going to be busy. And shaitan thrives on faragh, when you have nothing to do. That's the best time for him, the best opportunity. So when you are on a mission, when you remind yourself all the time that you are in this life on a mission, that will keep you focused and will keep you busy. Both will make the job of shaitan much harder. Also, it will give you a purpose in life and a compass or a scale. Why this is important? Because this will help you making the right decisions. And shaitan will always try to interfere with your decision to lead you to make the wrong decision. But if you have a scale or something to measure with, and I am on a mission, you propose something to me, I will ask, is this going to help me? With my mission, I will do it. Otherwise, I will not do it. That will close the door of shaitan to try to get you to do the wrong thing. As long as you are aware and as long as you have a reference, you put everything on the scale and then you make a decision. Shaitan doesn't want you to do that. And as long as you're doing this, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ فُرْقَانًا. Those who are mindful of Allah, Allah will give them that ability to distinguish between what is good for them and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong, and therefore make the right decisions. And of course, the more taqwa, the more you know that if something is haram, you're not going to do it. Regardless of the whisper of shaitan, the temptations, everything is haram, so you have always a scale that will enable one, halal or haram. Second, is this going to help me in my job in this life, because I have a job that I need to fulfill to the best of my ability. So remembering that life is a mission and you are in this life on a mission and that your performance will be evaluated can make a huge difference in our lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Do you think that we created you in vain, or do you think that you're not going to be brought back for evaluation? As long as you keep these two things in mind, that you have a job to fulfill, you are on a mission, and time can be over at any moment, and then your work is going to be evaluated. This again will help you dealing with the challenges of life and the stresses of this life. The second thing that can make big difference, before we get into the specific recipes that we can do even on daily basis, the second thing that can make big difference is to remember that life is a mission. That's one. Number two, life is a test ground. Quran is telling us this. As long as you're living, you're going to be tested. So being aware of this will reduce the element of surprise and shock, and therefore makes it harder for shaitan to confuse you or to push you into depression or anxiety. Why? Because you're ready. You wake up in the morning, you know that as long as you're living, you're going to be tested. And tests, they come in different forms of shape. Quran tells us this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ma'idah says, لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ فِي مَا آتَاكُمْ. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ فِي مَا آتَاكُمْ. He wanted to test you through that which He has given you. Through that which He has given you. So, race to do good. You will all return to Allah. It's amazing. ولو شاء الله لجعلكم أمة واحدة ولكن ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم. He's going to test you in what He has given you. فاستبقوا الخيرات. Compete and race to do good. إلى الله مرجعكم فينبئكم بما كنتم فيه تختلفون. So it's always there is work to be done and there is evaluation. So here there is a test. Allah will test you in everything. Gives you money, gives you health, gives you all what He has given you. All of this is a test. Same meaning. So ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم in Ma'idah, ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم in Surah Al-An'am. It's the same exact meaning. ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم. And then إن الله سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور. إن الله لسريع العقاب وإن الله سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور رحيم. So always there is things to be done or work and test and there is evaluation. Allah is swift in punishment and the most forgiving and merciful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Mulk, in Surah Hud, says الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام وكان عرشه على الماء ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. This time ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. Surah Hud, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Allah, so as to test, creates heavens and earth, so as to test which of you does best. So it's not only we are being tested, but we are also in a race and competition to test you who is best. And then Surah Al-Mulk, الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. Again, to test you all, to test you who created death and life, to test you and reveal which of you does best. So there is mission, test, and there is this competition and race. We are racing against the clock, and we are racing and competing against one another. Who will do better? And all of this frame of mind will make the job of shaitan much harder and will enable you to navigate the stresses of life in much more calmly and with a peace of mind. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Anbiya says, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. So إِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ was mentioned in relation to the mission. فحسبتم أنما خلقناكم عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون. And now in relation to the testing, الذي ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we test you all through the bad and the good. Allah will give you something good to test you how you're going to use it. And also you can be tested with the difficulty. We test you all through the bad and the good, and to us you will all return. So keep this frame in mind, that you are on a mission, limited time. It's a big one. It's a limited time to fulfill it, and you are being tested. And then you are in a race or competition. We're racing against the clock, and we are competing with one another. And you add to that this life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to strive for perfection. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us in this life to try to perfect everything we do, to excel in everything we do and in all our roles, to realize all our potential. So put this picture together. What is the conclusion here? The conclusion is this requires a lot of learning, you're going to succeed in your mission and succeed in this life, and it requires a lot of learning about Allah, learning about your deen, learning about life, learning about this world. There is a lot of learning. And also there is a lot of work to be done. And also this requires a lot of focus. In order to succeed in this mission, there is so much to learn, there is so much to do, and you need to be focused. Just to bring the idea closer, you know how focused we should be in this life? If you watch a race, the runners, how focused they are, or swimmers, how focused they are, or players in a game that is very high stake, like World Cup final, or how focused they are, that's the level of focus we need to keep in our lives. That will make you really almost immune, or very hard for shaitan to work on you or to confuse you. Again, part of that perfection, part of that strive of perfection, in it is we are expected to try to perfect our ibadat, not just perform them, starting with salah, not just perform it, perfect it. So that also requires a lot of work. A lot of work on tazkiyah, a lot of work on fulfilling this mission, a lot of work on learning, so much to learn and so much to do. And if you are busy and focused and with open eyes, then there is hardly any room left for you to be depressed or confusion or anxious or anything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this gift, this deen, that really has a recipe for success and happiness in this life and in the hereafter. Let's start from the time you go to sleep. If we really want to apply these things, keep them in mind. The time you go to sleep, the first thing that should come to your mind, and you should remind yourself, that we die every night. So when you go to sleep, remind yourself that this might be the end, or be as if it is the end. That's why we make that dua to Allah. إن أمسكت نفسي فارحمها وإن أرسلتها فاحفظها بما تحفظ به عبادك الصالحين. If you keep my soul, be merciful or have mercy. If you send me back, protect me and guide me. So that should come to, that's what you should remember, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran says, الله يتوفى الأنفس حين موتها والتي لم تمت في منامها فيمسك التي قضى عليها الموت ويرسل الأخرى إلى أجل مسمى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Zumar says, Allah takes the souls of the dead and the souls of the living while they sleep. He keeps hold of those whose death He has ordained and sends the other back until their appointed time. Why this can be very helpful. And time and again I hear people having a hard time to sleep, and they keep thinking about so many things when they go to sleep, and they have this insomnia and araq, which it's come as a surprise for me. Why? Because if you keep this idea in mind, there is no point in thinking about the future and thinking about tomorrow, because there might be no tomorrow to begin with. So let's take it one day at a time. This is as if it is the end. And now you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that should come to your mind? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first thought that should come to your mind is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you some extra time to shape up, to be better prepared. It's like a professor giving a test, and then the time is up, and then I'm going to give you 10 more minutes or 15 more minutes. Or like the extra time, the time the referee add in a game. So, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, you wake up, alhamdulillah, we have some more time to take care of things that I was not able to take care of before. This is the time to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gave you life. It's very precious. So you woke up, living, alive, still alive. Health, security, family, freedom, house, all of this. These, we are taking them for granted. They are dreams for many people on this globe. To be secure, to be healthy, to be living, etc., etc. So let's remember that all of this, the food that you find at home, all of these things are blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, we get used to them because we get them every day, but we need to remember that still, as if these things were given to you again by Allah. It's like life was given to you again. All of these things were, all of these blessings and favors were given to you again. So all of these were taken from you, including life, and was given back to you. So you should be really very grateful from the start our day with the gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all His countless bounties and favors as if we were created again. Now here, after that, what we need to bring those ideas that we talked about it we need to remember, one, that this extra day that was given, or extra time, it's still to fulfill that mission. So I need to remember that I'm gonna resume. So I took a break at night, and I'm going to resume my journey. What is this mission? As we explained it many times, there are 3 tracks that you're working on. And that's what also you should remember the first thing in the morning, that one, you are working on yourself to be a better version of yourself. So think of things that you can do that day to make a progress on this track. Second, part of our mission is to help people around us become better people, sharing knowledge, sharing advice, expertise, by example, uplifting people, mentoring people is an essential part of your mission. 3 is to make this world a better place for everybody. Think about things that you can do on that day to progress on these fronts, on these 3 fronts. And then remember the concept of test. Be prepared on that day to be tested. We don't choose our tests, we choose how to deal with them. So tests, they come in different forms and shapes. Again, it might be something good. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً وَإِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. So, it might be something good, Allah is testing you with it. Money, promotion, job, whatever. Something good, Allah is testing how you're going to use it. Or a difficulty. And alhamdulillah, in our religion gave us the way that guarantees that we can be in win-win situation all our life. We meet any blessing with shukr, gratitude, and we meet every difficulty with patience. Bain al-shukr wa sabr, you will be in win-win situation all your life. Because you are prepared, you're not going to be shocked. You're not going to be surprised. You know from the first moment that this is another test. So if it comes from this side, then I'm going to meet it with gratitude. I'm going to be more grateful to Allah in words and in deeds. And if it comes from this side, then I'm going to meet it with patience and perseverance. Third, remember this idea that you are in a race and you are competing. You are racing against the clock. The clock is ticking. That day may not even finish. This new day may not even be a complete day. Might be just extra few hours. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give long life to everybody, but that's a reality. We see time and again people who are healthy and young, etc., and they die. So that day, it may not even finish. So we're racing against the clock, but also we are competing with one another, as Quran is telling us. Now, the last thing that you need to keep in mind, or one more thing that you need to keep in mind that can help us, again, avoiding living a life that is calm and with peace of mind in spite of all the storms and turbulence that is happening around us. We can really navigate it. Remember that whatever Allah has ordained for you is in your best interest. What Allah chooses for you is better than what you choose for yourself. And here is something that if we really stick to it and adopt it, it can help us avoiding a lot of stress and a lot of frustration. Remember the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam? Everything that came from Allah, he does it without hesitation because he has full trust and confidence that it is in his best interest, even when it doesn't look like it. So, you like something in this life and you don't get it. Should you be depressed? No. خيرها بغيرها. يعني الخيرة فيما اختاره الله. Always believe that the best thing for you is what Allah is choosing for you. Quran is telling us in two places, in Surah Al-Nisa and in Surah Al-Baqarah, that you may like something and it's not good for you. And you may hate something and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and it's in your best interest. وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. You never know. So be prepared, always think this way. Don't be so much sad just because you lost an opportunity. Always believe that was not good for me. That's why Allah took it away and Allah did not give it to me. So always be prepared to accept the outcome. Of course, after you do your best. And that's a delicate balance that some people miss. You do everything you can. Once you reach your limit, leave it for Allah and accept the outcome. Example, you have job interview. You prepare. You do your homework, you read about the company, you read about the person who's going to interview you. You prepare, you spare no effort. But that's it. This is the time, and now it's the time for the interview. Leave it for Allah. It may go well, it may not. It may go well and you get the job, may go well, you don't get the job. That's beyond you. Anything beyond your limits, you shouldn't be worried about it. That's the thing that if you know how to draw that limit, you will save yourself a lot of problems and a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. That I did my part, that part belongs to Allah. If it happens, alhamdulillah. If it didn't happen, then that was not good for me. That's why Allah, have that trust in Allah that if it didn't materialize, it's an opportunity, you liked it, you worked hard for it. If it didn't materialize, always you have to have full trust that if Allah did not give it to you, it was not in your best interest. Your best interest is somewhere else, in something that you may not even like, as the verse is saying. You can see how this great religion of ours not only is the key for you to succeed in the hereafter, but it can guarantee you that peace of mind that people are looking for and dying for, so desperate for. You find it in this religion. This religion allows you to work hard, but also never to be anxious or to be depressed because of these items that we talked about. You are on a mission, you know that you are being tested, you are on a race, you are busy, you are focused, and you're busy and you are focused, and there is no time to waste. And on top of that, you know that first of all, you have limits that you don't exceed, and you don't allow anybody to overstep their limits. And second, you know your limitations, that you're going to do everything you can, but there is a point where you stop because you reach your limit, and leave it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and accept the outcome, because whatever Allah chooses for you is better than what you choose for yourself. وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونتوب إليه. نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. My dear respected brother and sister in Islam, one thing about tests, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us as that's an opportunity for you to be a better person. Because how do we improve in this life? We improve by the knowledge that we learn and we apply, whether we learn from a book or we learn from somebody, but also we grow because of the test we go through. The test that we go through makes us grow and learn. So they are meant to make you a better person and to complement the work of tazkiyah that you are doing by learning and implementing to be a better person. And I want to emphasize this idea of limits, because this is causing a lot of problem in relationships. Spousal relationship, parent and children, etc. If please, each one of us, try to know your limits and stick to them. Most problems in relationships are because someone is overstepping their limits. So crossing limits, so if everyone trying to stick to your limits and prevent others from overstepping their limits, a lot of problems can be avoided, not even solved. A lot of problems are the result of someone crossing or overstepping their limits and somebody else allowing them, and then people get into issues. But if everyone try to stick to your limits, and then if any prevent or push back anyone who's trying to overstep their limits, a lot of problems in a relationship could be avoided. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا ووفنا وانت راض عنا واختم بالصالحات أعمالنا واجعل خير أعمالنا خواتمها وخير أيامنا يوم نلقاك. متعنا اللهم بالنظر إلى وجهك الكريم. ربنا ارحم والدينا كما ربونا صغارا وارحم موتانا وجميع موتى المسلمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. صل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وأقم الصلاة.